Hey folks, Andrew back with you. Nashville severe weather. We have two warnings in effect for Williamson, one up toward Davidson County, and we'll get to those here in just a second. Sorry we got cut out there. We got some challenges today with the weather and technology and all that kind of stuff. So thanks for bearing with us. David's been over on Twitter, and we are keeping an eye on these storms as they come through. Winds are definitely strong with these. Severe thunderstorm warning for Davidson, or for southern Davidson County, northern Williamson, or really straight through Williamson County there. That warning is in effect until, that warning is going to be in effect until, looking through the warnings here, 9:30. And then new warnings been issued down in southeastern or southern Williamson County. That's in effect till 9:45. So watching that especially carefully as well. Let's go over and look at TBNA. We're going to look and see what those winds are doing right now. And I'm just going to look at that off screen over here. Looks like they are strong coming in. But I don't think we've gotten any reports yet from Williamson County of how strong those winds are. So with the limitations we have at the moment, we're just going to stick with this one radar and kind of go back and forth between velocity and reflectivity. So I got some power outages here and there. Some people have lost power in Williamson County. We know that for sure. And so it's definitely pretty strong out there at the moment. All right, let's back up and kind of look at where we are. Thanks for sticking with us here as we encounter power issues and technology issues and that kind of thing. So thanks for sticking with us. So we are over on Twitter still. Will's over there on Twitter now, and he's also taking reports, and I'm here on YouTube live. So all right, two warnings in effect. Let's kind of get our big picture again as more people join. This severe thunderstorm warning that's in the middle, like Franklin back to the west, severe thunderstorm warning, that's in effect, believe, until 9:30. And then this one over a little bit further south is in effect till 9:45. So northern Davidson County, you're doing pretty good. It doesn't look like the winds are as strong up north outside the warning, up toward Briley Parkway on the west side of Davidson County, but that's pushing off to the east though, so winds will pick up as the line gets to you. We have pretty strong winds heading through Forest Hills, like through Belle Meade, Forest Hills, and the northern side, like the west sides of Brentwood over toward Hillsborough Road. Strong winds moving into there. And then Franklin is going to have those strong winds as they push in here in just a second. Down to the south, very strong winds ahead of the line here. These are winds over 100 miles an hour, up at about 3,200 feet down in Murray County. So those are out ahead of the line. And so some of that gets brought down with the heavy rain, and that's the concern with the strong winds reaching the ground. All right, so we are, let me look over here at some questions. Welcome back. Yes, glad to be back. In Donaldson, let's say Donaldson will probably be in the next 30 minutes. So it should have hit there by 10:30. Lewisburg, yep. Wind's pretty strong down there. Lines approaching from the west back in Murray and Giles County. But up here in Davidson and Williamson, the line has definitely entered our areas. And hello from Joelton. Glad to hear that you're doing all right up there. Strongest rain approaching the 440 loop. It's now on the Briley Parkway loop, like the Briley and White Bridge Road and I-40 intersection on the west side of town. And then up toward Whites Creek, Fontenelle, up in that area is where the heaviest rain is now. The latest radar scan there just came in, so it's crossing Whites Creek Pike, and then going down through Sylvan Park, Green Hills Mall, Lipscomb University, crossing Hillsborough Road now around Tyne Boulevard and Forest Hills, pushing off to the east. And then as you go down south, really the heaviest rain is riding along Hillsborough Road right now as you go down toward Franklin. East Nashville will probably be in the next 15 or 20 minutes. Spring Hill, it's right on your doorstep in Spring Hill. So it's hitting downtown Spring Hill now. It'll be pushing off to the east through the residential areas here in the next 2 minutes. All right, so 2 severe thunderstorm warnings in effect. If you're just joining us, I know since we got knocked off there, some of you joining us just now. And so 2 severe thunderstorm warnings in effect. No tornado warnings are in effect now, but we're watching the threat for the quick spin-ups that might happen here and there, but not seeing any evidence of that right now. Let me back out and show you. The line is not quite as potent as it was earlier as far as the tornado warnings go. Got one down here in Mississippi. But up here in our area, no tornado warnings, just severe thunderstorm warnings, though, for strong winds that can do as much damage as some of these weak tornadoes that come through. So pay attention to the severe thunderstorm warnings over the next several minutes. Stay plugged in. You're asking about specific areas, specific towns here in both counties, Nolensville and Goodlettsville, Madison. Everybody can basically expect the same thing, and that's going to be for these very strong rains that come through here. You see the line stretches all the way from Robertson County all the way clear through Williamson County down into Murray County. So everybody's going to get heavy rain. Everybody's going to get probably some wind. It just depends on when or how strong they are at the surface when they get to you. So right now the strongest winds look to be along Hillsborough Road up toward it's like Manley Lane. That's up in Grassland. So some strong winds there. Also look like there are some strong winds coming into right along Elmington Park, Sylvan Park, Vanderbilt there along I-440. So that's technically just outside of the warning, but some pretty strong winds up there in the 50, maybe even 60 mile an hour range as the storm comes into downtown up there in Nashville. So the polygon's really not that far off, and they just issued another one. You see it just showed up. New severe thunderstorm warning now for Davidson County for that area we were literally just talking about as it comes into downtown, and they've extended the warning now to cover the rest of Williamson County pretty much to the east, including Nolensville, and then off to the east. B&A is included in the new warning: Hermitage, Percy Priest Lake, Antioch, and Brentwood and Creve Hall. So let's go back to reflectivity here, show you kind of where the line is. And that will kind of help you see what we're dealing with. So it's 9:22 by my watch, and we're looking at this line of storms coming pretty much right at the I-65 corridor. It's about 20 minutes late than what we were looking at earlier because it slowed down. But this new warning's in effect till 10 o'clock. And so 10 o'clock ought to do it as far as it pushing off to the eastern side of this warning, and crossing I-65 and going down I-40 there toward the east, toward Wilson and Rutherford County. So so the good news is hopefully here in about 30 minutes, 45 minutes, it'll be out of here, and that would be great. Let's go back to velocities and look at what we're dealing with there. I'm going to go look at a different product kind of off screen here. And winds appear pretty strong on it, but let's look at this one that we're looking at on screen here. And one of the strongest areas of wind is right here, actually coming into downtown Nashville. So let's go look at let's see if I can get our Midtown camera going here. So this is Midtown right now, and it is like it's like a car wash down there. Very strong winds coming into downtown right now. So this, you can see those curtains, those rain curtains. West is behind the camera, so you're facing east toward downtown, and the rain curtains coming in around this camera and around this building are pretty substantial. So no doubt that there's probably some 50, 60 mile an hour winds there coming in around these buildings in Midtown, facing downtown. So looking at the radar picture off screen here, you're looking at the Midtown camera. I'm looking at the radar screen off camera, and it looks like the strongest winds now coming into downtown proper, and will be crossing the river here in the next minute or so. But definitely some very heavy rain coming around the Midtown camera right now in downtown Nashville. So let's do this. Let's go back to the radar for just a second. The hole there is the buildings. It's not that there's no radar data, just it's blocked there by some of the buildings. So very strong winds now coming through downtown. It's going to cross the river and go into East Nashville, and I would expect 60 mile an hour winds there downtown. Let's go back to the Midtown camera, and not clearing up much yet, but maybe just a little bit. It's blowing pretty hard down there. Blowing pretty hard, that's for sure. Let me back out on the radar, and while you're looking at the Midtown camera, I'm going to look at radar a second. And it looks like another area, very strong wind near the Brentwood Library. And I'm going to pull up if I can. A Brentwood traffic camera. Let's see. Looking for the right one here. And this is going to be Franklin Road at Concord Road. This is a City of Brentwood camera, and that has not quite gotten there to them yet. It is still blowing pretty strong, just from the gradient winds, but the wind hasn't quite reached them yet. So, all right, so that'll be there in a few minutes, but some strong winds possible there as well. Strongest area of wind really does look to be up around East Nashville. And so let's look up here. This is right inside the warning. They may even have to pop another warning up to the north a little bit, because these strong winds are right on the edge of the polygon here around 5 Points in East Nashville and Inglewood. And these are winds that we saw in the camera just a second ago were really strong. And these are measuring at 66 miles an hour, about 500-600 feet up in the air. Off the surface, and no doubt that those are probably reaching the ground. So very strong winds blowing off to the east toward Inglewood, and they're now in East Nashville, and we'll be approaching Briley Parkway here in just a minute. So let me look at your comments here and see what y'all are seeing. Rain and hard wind West End Vandy area, yeah. Okay, so this is the strongest area of wind here that we're seeing. We're just going to stick with this for just a second. Excuse me. And this is wind that is 50 to 60 miles an hour there in East Nashville. I would not be surprised at all if there were some trees that came down, some power outages with this in East Nashville. Trees and power lines are pretty close together out there. So wouldn't be surprised of that at all. And as it pushes off through Inglewood, crosses Briley Parkway, and eventually gets over into areas of Opryland, Peeler Park, Opryland Hotel, Madison, Hermitage Golf Course, areas like that. So we're looking at the velocity data here, and this is pretty much the strongest area I can see on radar of high velocity within the line. And the strongest area appears to be right there in East Nashville. So this radar image is from 926. It's 928. So I would put the wind probably here in the Inglewood area, maybe just coming into Inglewood. There it is right there. New radar image showing the wind right there in Inglewood, right on top of the Inglewood Community Center, and right along Gallatin Pike there as it goes through Inglewood. So winds, it's measuring winds at about 65 miles an hour. At about 470 feet. Let's see. I'm in East Nashville. It's really hard, but still have power near Douglas and Ellington. All right, yeah, you're right in the thick of it. Very strong winds there as it pushes off toward Briley Parkway. It'll be crossing the river and getting to Briley Parkway here in just a couple of minutes, if that. So, all right, let's go and look at some other areas down to the south in the line. Not seeing anything crazy in the line as you go down to the south, except for some very heavy rains. Could be some pretty strong winds there right on I-65 near 840. Kind of as you go over Lewisburg Pike there. Wind and rain crazy in Madison. All right, so it looks to me that the strongest area of wind is still right here in Inglewood, crossing the river right now, and going to be crossing Briley Parkway here in just a second. New severe thunderstorm warning, actually, just came out for Davidson, Sumner, and Wilson. So they did extend the warning up to the north, where these real strong winds were kind of poking the edge of the warning box there. So it includes Good Pasture, Christian School, Madison, Amqui, Rivergate Mall, Goodlettsville, all the way up toward the Bakers and Luton's area, and then all the way down to the south, Shelby Bottom, Shelby Park, the wave pool there on Briley Parkway, Peeler Park, Hermitage, and all that. So definitely that's where the strongest winds appear to be at the moment. All right, let's look at reflectivity, kind of get an idea of where the line is right now as a whole. Let's back out a little bit. Eastern Davidson County now under the gun. This is going to be east of I-65 in the northern part of the county. It's crossing I-65 here in the southern part of the county. In Williamson County, it's crossing I-65 now. It's coming through Franklin. The strongest part of the rain, the heaviest rain is coming through downtown Franklin now, about to cross I-65. And after that, in Williamson County, it's going to be for areas, it's going to cross Wilson Pike. It's going to cross over, after it crosses Wilson Pike there, it'll get into subdivisions near Crockett Park, Trinity, Burke Hollow, Nolensville, Governor's Club, areas like that. So that's where it's headed. Down to the south, it's knocking on the door of Page High School. It's riding along 840, not a good drive there. Down toward Bethesda, it's coming into Bethesda right now and out toward those roads, the hyphenated, I call them the hyphenated roads out there, like Paytonsville, Arno Road, Arno-Allisona Road, Hatcher Lane, those roads down in the southeastern part of the county. So definitely a lot of rain there, not a good drive. Winds do look strong down there, but once the line moves through, that should be about it for that. Look at your questions. Nothing crazy in Spring Hill. That's good to know. Spring Hill, you're just about out of it. Not windy, but it is raining. Mallory and okay, they're in Cool Springs. So that's good. Hopefully the heaviest rain or the heaviest wind is confined to places that we can see on radar. You don't like to get reports of strong winds in areas that aren't being indicated on radar. So looks like the heaviest wind reports are coming from where we can actually see it on radar, and that's up here crossing the river, the Cumberland River there in the northeastern sides of Nashville. And looks like it just crossed Briley Parkway and all the RV camping places up there. And then looks like it's heading for Old Hickory. So is where the strongest area of wind is we see on radar. That's measuring about 55 to 60 miles an hour on radar. And actually, the latest radar picture just dropped the wind down a little bit. So still reading a couple areas of 50s, but maybe the velocities are coming down just a tad. Julie's asking, is this going to take storm energy away for the day? No, this is the main event. This is the main event. So this is the line that we have been anticipating today, and there were varying ETAs throughout the day. Yesterday and day before yesterday, as we were kind of trying to guess using modeling data what was going to happen today, and the storms got a little bit of an earlier start as far as pushing here into Middle Tennessee than we were thinking a couple of days ago. But that's excuse me, reading something off screen. But they should be through here, and doesn't look like we'll see a whole lot more after this. Just some rain. Okay, so who's in and who's out on the polygons? Let's talk about warning polygons. The newest warnings up here on the northern side of Davidson County, and that includes areas from Hendersonville and Rivergate Mall down to the south. That's in effect until 10 a.m., so another about 30 minutes on that. The next warning down includes downtown Nashville, Vanderbilt, Creve Hall, Antioch, B&A, Percy Priest Lake, Brentwood, Cool Springs, Franklin, McKay's Mill, Nolensville, down to Burke Hollow. And that warning is continued to rock along until 10 o'clock also. And then down to the south, this warning down here, I think it's in effect till 9:45 if I remember right. That's for Thompson Station and Bethesda and Page High School as that pushes off to the east. So really warnings stretching up and down the line now again. They kind of take a break, and now they're back up and down I-65. So we are pretty much all under a warning if you have not gotten the line yet. Trees down in Murray County, roof off a barn in Lawrenceburg, so the winds aren't messing around down there, that's for sure. A little hard to tell if this wind here is associated with the line or not. It could be. Some pretty strong winds possible down there around 840 Page High School down toward Bethesda. So that's possible. Some strong winds right when that line hits you down around Page and 840 down in Bethesda in southern Williamson County. If it is blowing that hard, it could be pretty windy. So strong area of wind there around Page and 840. Could be blowing. It says it's blowing about 67 miles an hour, about 2,000 feet. Heavy rain's going to hang around for a while. Let's back up a little bit. It's rain as far back as we can see back toward Memphis. So after the line moves through, if you're looking for plans for the day, looks like we could, it's going to rain for a while. But the heaviest, once it moves through, hopefully it'll go ahead and get out of here. This thing's kind of slowed down, and it really is taking its time. It needs to get on out of here so we don't have to worry about flooding. But it appears it's moving fast enough. We're not getting a lot of flooding reports. Speaking of moving fast, by the way, you can see a lot further now on the Midtown camera than you could a little bit ago. That camera took a beating here just about 10 minutes ago. A lot of wind came through Midtown and went through downtown Nashville and went on through. So, but you can see a little bit more now in downtown on the skyline. Let's see. Let's go back to velocities. Really, it's all about the velocities with these warnings. This is really what we look at. Looks like I'm looking off screen at a different radar here. It looks like some of the strongest velocities are there around Page High School still. So let's go back to the other radar. So right in here, another radar is confirming it. Some pretty strong velocities there around Page, and whether those are reaching the ground or not quite sure. And in fact, actually, we just got a report of tree down in East Nashville with that pretty gnarly area of wind that came through a little bit ago. So Page High School into the gun now, and that's in an area of rain. So I wouldn't be surprised at all if those were reaching the ground. That's reading 81 miles an hour at 1,800 feet. So it's likely blowing pretty hard, whether it's that strong or not. Not sure, but it's probably blowing pretty hard there around the school, around the Page schools. Where's part just past Goodlettsville? Yeah, okay, looking at your comments here, seeing if we've missed any reports. Excuse me. Electricity went out around B&A, yeah. The winds up there were pretty strong a little bit ago. Those have come down quite a bit, although they may still be impacting areas around Mount Juliet. No, that's probably just noise. So it looks like the strongest winds have come down there as it's approached the radar site. That's a good sign. Up in the northern part of Davidson County. Let's go on down the line, look for more strong winds. Looks to me like the strongest winds are going to be around here in southern Williamson County. So we keep going back and forth on where the strongest winds are, and it looks like that's going to be the area where they're getting the strongest wind. Let me pull up a Brentwood traffic camera now, and let me see if I can find one right in the thick of this rain. Let's see what they're looking at here. Let's see. So this is going to be Moore's Lane at I-65, and this is a Brentwood traffic camera. Camera's rocking a little bit. I've seen worse on this camera, but it's definitely raining pretty hard. Let's go look at another one. Let's look at Concord and Green Hill. Let's see if we can get that one up. All right, so Concord Green Hill, this is a Brentwood traffic camera as well. This is right in the thick of the rain, and seeing some wind, but not crazy. Trees blowing. There comes a gust there. So yeah, it's pretty strong winds as a part of this line, but yeah, you can see the rain curtains there. It's really blowing now. This is at Concord and Green Hill Boulevard. This is going to be right there on the east side of Brentwood, kind of if you're heading out of Brentwood going east toward like the Nolensville Road intersection where the Publix and Kroger and all those businesses are. This is heading east out of Brentwood. So pretty strong wind as it comes through, but it doesn't look like it was, at least that gust we just saw was severe. But we are into the warning for a little while longer here. All right, let's go back and look at radar. Pull that up for us. So here's radar as that storm does march through Brentwood. That camera was about right in here or so right in the thick of it. And I'm watching that camera off screen here. And I'm also going to pull up our Nolensville camera so we can have that up. There we go. So here's Nolensville. Storm's going to come in from the right side of this picture and move to the left. So those hills you see off in the distance are, that's like the Burke Hollow Road area out that direction. If you're familiar with the Nolensville area, those hills are out that direction. And you'll see those disappear here in a little bit as this rain moves in. And watching radar off site, or off to the side here, and it's getting pretty close. So heaviest rain just came through McKay's Mill. It's coming up Clovercroft Road now, Clovercroft and Wilson, moving on to the east toward Nolensville. And you'll see a lot of things disappear on the camera here in just a little bit. Checking your questions again. What should you expect in Wilson County? Heavy rain and wind. Really, I don't know how else to sum it up. Let's go back to the camera in Nolensville. You start seeing those hills disappear as the rain pushes in. That's going to be on your southwest side of Nolensville there. And it's not going to be fun to drive in. So I'd hang around for a while and not drive on the line. I'd wait till after it passes if you need to get out. 9:41 now. Let's talk about the warnings. This southern warning here, I believe, expires at 9:45. And so that will go away or be extended here in a little bit. Let's go back to radar for just a second, and we'll go back to the camera. But this southern polygon will disappear or be extended in the next couple of minutes. The one above it lasts another 20 minutes or so. That's from Franklin to Brentwood up into downtown. And then the one to the top of it is also in effect until 10 o'clock as well. And these are for strong winds. Let's check velocities again, then we'll go back to the cameras. Not seeing anything crazy. Wind's a little bit high there in Nolensville. So that's pushing off to the east. Let's go back to the camera, and we'll watch this come in just a second. I'm going to mute for about 15 seconds. I'll be right back. All right, back with you here as the line of storms comes in Nolensville. You're watching the camera from right to left is how this line's moving through, and those hills in the distance there pretty much disappeared. Those are out in the south side of Nolensville as the line moves in. Getting pretty dark on the right side of that picture, and that's that line coming through. So Nolensville is usually one of the last to get to the line. Nolensville and College Grove and Hermitage, and that's the case today. So looks like a new severe thunderstorm warning now just came out for Williamson County. That's going to carry us until 10:15. So they've decided to go ahead and extend the warning off to the north and the east. And so the newest polygon now includes the south sides of Nolensville. It includes Burke Hollow. It includes Triune. There where the four-way stop, well, it's not a four-way stop anymore, it's a traffic light. They just put that up. So, but as we know it, the four-way stop there in Triune, and then goes down toward College Grove. So new severe thunderstorm warning for there, and they're warning for 60-mile-an-hour wind gusts. So let's take a look at velocities and see where the strongest winds are. Kind of been going back and forth here. Now you're looking at radar there. As we go down the line, looks like strongest winds are going to be right around Wilson Pike, and right here there's an area of wind that's probably more enhanced than in some of the other areas, and that's right here near Trinity. If you're familiar with Wilson Pike, you've got the intersection with Wilson Pike and Highway 96 or Murfreesboro Road. So this is Murfreesboro Road in Williamson County. And so if you go up Wilson Pike there around Osborne Road, there's an enhanced area of strong winds right there. looks like they've modified some warnings a bit, taken some things away, but the fact is basically everybody east of I-65 is under a warning. And I'm going to take a look at some going to see if this little enhanced area of wind is trying to get its act together in a little bit of a different way. It doesn't look like it's, if it's rotating, it's very, very, very slight. Very slight. So, but just an area of strong wind there crossing Burke Hollow Road around Warren Hollow. So that's moving off to the northeast and should cross Nolensville Road here pretty shortly. All right, we're going to mute here for just a second. I'll be right back. Looking at a couple of things. I'll be right back. All right, so back with you here. You're looking at velocities. Let's go over and look at the Nolensville camera. They're most under the gun with this right now. And off to the north in Davidson County, all of the heaviest rain is east of I-65, moving down I-40 into Hermitage, B&A, Antioch. It's about to be on Percy Priest Lake, pretty much is on Percy Priest Lake. And then as we go down the line here, Nolensville is now getting it, as you're seeing on the camera there on your picture. And heavy rain moving in. You see how fast those clouds are moving. They're moving pretty quickly if you just kind of sit and look at them. They're moving pretty fast off to the north. Weather Service is continuing the warning up to the north till 10. Not surprised about that. And then down to the south, the line is about to cross Nolensville Road. It's kind of between I-65 and Nolensville Road, or Horton Highway as you move down to the south. So it's approaching College Grove. Now down here in College Grove, it's going to be a wall of water when it hits. I mean, it goes, nothing to a lot there in just a couple hundred yards. So it's going to hit you very fast there in College Grove, and pretty strong. Look like it might have some wind with it, and definitely some strong winds. Trees down Jones Avenue. Yeah, I believe we did get that report from Douglas Avenue and Trinity about the trees down on Jones Avenue. I believe we did get that. So yeah, let's see. East Nashville certainly got it pretty good. All right, looking at velocities again. They've come down just a tad in Williamson County. Not quite as strong as they were. That's a good sign. I'm going to go look at a different radar here off screen. And yeah, not seeing anything too crazy there. All right, let's zoom out. Let's go back over to Nolensville. Seeing some wind there on the camera, but it's not anything unexpected. I mean, it's blowing, but it's not seeing those sheets of rain, just the spray coming across the camera. Not seeing that really. Strongest rain is now coming into downtown Nolensville, so it'll rain a little harder here in just a second, and then push off to the east, and we'll be done with this here before long. So thanks for sticking with us. Thanks for hanging out. It's been a long morning, but hopefully this will get out of here pretty quick. All right, looking at some of your reports again. Yeah, coming through Cane Ridge there, sure is. Yeah, heavy rain. Let us know if you see any wind damage. We're particularly interested in that. So if you see any trees that come down, or any anything that might be any damage that you see, let us know about that. Tweet using hashtag TSpotter, and we will get that to the Weather Service as quickly as possible. The reflectivities have come down some. It's not as strong as it was just a little bit ago there around Nolensville. So the reds have come down a little bit. A lot more yellows and oranges than reds. That's a good sign as far as rain goes, and certainly not seeing any problems on reflectivity quite yet. All right, let's kind of zoom out. Let's get our bearings on where we are, and I'm going to take you off the camera and put you over on radar. And let's take a look at where we are right now. So the northern polygon that includes areas just south of Hendersonville, that's going to be in effect until 10. All right. And then the one just south of it, this is going to be basically everybody in Davidson County east of I-65, is going to be that's in effect until 10 also. So about another 10 minutes on that one. And then the new one down here in Williamson County is in effect until 10:15. So about another 25 minutes on that one. But it's going to be out of Williamson County here before too long, so that's a good sign. You always ease my tornado anxieties. Thanks. Well, no problem. Glad we could help with that. Let's, in fact, speaking of that, let's take a look and see what we've got out there. Doesn't look like I don't really see anything that screams rotation. So I'm not. My anxiety level is also low about that. So even with the new radar scan, I'm just not seeing anything trying to rotate. So this is definitely a straight line wind kind of thing if you get any of that. All right, back over to the Nolensville camera. They're getting the heaviest of the rain now. The trees are still standing. That's a plus. And really, I'm not seeing them move a whole lot. Although, there's some strong gusts here and there, but it doesn't look like there's any wind that would be considered severe right here at the camera site. Yes, Brentwood is clear of the major line. Yes. All right, zooming back out. We've probably got about another 15 minutes before this line has completely pushed through both counties, and when that happens, we can put our severe worries to bed. So we hope that's the case. Update from the Weather Service. This is encouraging. So the Weather Service is saying the storms appear to be outrunning whatever instability is left over. So, translation, whatever storm food was out there, the storms appear to be outrunning that. Our thought of they are thinking about letting the current warnings run their course and then not reissue unless we see something re-intensify. So it appears that they're going to let these warnings expire in the next 15-20 minutes. Well, these northern two will expire here in the next 5-10 minutes, and then let them expire unless something re-intensifies. So let's hope that's the case. Let's get these things out of here and get on with our Saturday, even though we're going to have some rain out there. Pouring in Triune coming down in College Grove. Yeah, not seeing anything unusual on reports. Let's go back to Nolensville. The radar is not too exciting at the moment. All right, I'm watching radar here off on the side screen and just not seeing anything impressive on the winds other than what we've been having. And most of you guys the line's already come through for most of you. And so you're good on the severe threat. So really, let's kind of highlight where the severe threat remains. Basically, the sliver of Davidson County over near Percy Priest Lake to the east, before the line, and really in the line. So if you kind of draw a line down here, let me show you the radar. If you kind of draw a line down the back side of this red, and then you move down through Nolensville, and basically everybody east of Nolensville Road, down roads like, that's going to be Sanford and McCandless and Spantown roads and Triune, If you are in the line, the severe threat remains for possible strong winds. If the strongest rain has passed you, your severe threat really diminishes rapidly. So that's a good thing. Let's get it out of here. All right, the northern 2 severe thunderstorm warnings expire in 5 minutes. The southern one expires in 20 minutes. However, the severe threat will be gone before that for Williamson County. So we'll see what happens there. Here's Nolensville again, starting to brighten up just a tad. Heaviest rains pushing through there. And still just not seeing a lot in the way of really strong winds. Those trees over on the left aren't moving a whole lot. It's raining and it's windy, but it's not severe at this location in Nolensville. All right, so here we are. The line, the main part of the line that would be producing severe weather is right on the county line, really all the way up and down the Williamson-Rutherford County line from Holt's Corner and Eagleville. All the way up through College Grove, and that white line there is our county line, and then through the east sides of Nolensville there, Rocky Fork Road, and as you go out towards Smyrna. So the line is straddling the county line there as it goes into Rutherford. Up on the north side, basically everybody from Hermitage to the east, and then from like Percy Priest Lake off to the east are the ones that still have the severe threat, but it just doesn't look as impressive as it did. I mean, the wind shift line here, you can kind of see where this is. It's right here. You kind of go up and down it here. That right here is the wind shift line, and that's where the severe threat lies. And I just don't see anything crazy with it. All right, so we're gonna stick with it a few more minutes here. Let me mute just a minute, clear my throat. I'll be right back. All right, back with you here, and the line. Each new radar scan shows it moving a little further east. That's good for us. So basically, Williamson County now, you guys are in pretty good shape. Strongest rain is just now has crossed Nolensville Road, moving into Rutherford County, and so the heaviest rain now is pretty much out of the county. That's a good thing. That's going to be where your severe threat is, if there is one for you. And then up to the north, it's getting awful close. So it's really downtown, or we're right in the middle of Hermitage to the east. And then the heaviest rain's moving across Percy Priest Lake. It's now east of most of Antioch. And then once it gets into Wilson County, we'll be in good shape. So that's what we're going to watch, and we're going to stick with it until it does. But Williamson County, you're pretty much all clear as this, as the heaviest, the front end of this rain is now to the east of you. So it just exited. Williamson County, and it's pushing off to the east. Davidson County, got just a few more minutes on it, but not too bad. They're going to expire the warning here in about 2 minutes, and when they do, that will be great news for Davidson County, and that should leave the only warning in effect down in Williamson County. But even there, the line has pushed east of Williamson County, so that's going to be really an all-clear situation there as well. New radar scan, even more so, it's pushed off to the east. Let me check your comments, check some reports, and see what we've kind of had come down. Looks like limb on a power line in Inglewood. Let me look through some replies. Looks like a broken fence. That's down in Rutherford County. Let's see here. A lot of pictures of trees. Looks like a 60-foot hackberry tree down in Madison. Yeah. I'm seeing a picture here of the tree down on Jones Avenue over in East Nashville. Somebody sent us that a little bit ago. So that's really about it. We're doing pretty well. So, all right, sticking with radar here. The 2 warnings to our north have expired. That's a good thing. The only warning left here is down in Williamson County. So, but not seeing anything severe down there. All right, that warning expires here in the next 15 minutes, but I believe the severe threat is pushed east of Williamson County. Tell you what we're going to do. We're going to go ahead and jump off of YouTube Live, and going to cover this over on Twitter since the threat has pretty much passed Williamson County now, off to the east side of the county line. So we're going to jump off of YouTube Live and cover this completely over on Twitter. So follow us over there at Nash Severe WX. And it's been good to be with you this morning, and hope all is well for you and you don't have any trees down on your property. But be careful driving out there. Still a lot of rain. Also still a lot in the way of some trees down in different areas. And so if you're driving this morning or this afternoon as well, just wait for those crews to get things cleaned up. It could be a little messy out there for a while. So, all right, we're going to jump over here. Hope you'll have a great day, and we'll see you over on Twitter.